You think it's right? Well, there's all kinds of animal cruelty laws in the United States, as you know of. So why are puppy mills allowed to still be legal? That's the question of the day. Now, according to your pamphlets, if you look on the front, it says meet the parents of a pet store puppy. At the bottom, it says her name is Hope. She is 6 years old. She's a Maltese from a puppy mill. She weighed 2 pounds. She was extremely malnourished. Her teeth were rotten. Infection had spread through her body. Her long hair had fallen out. It was time for her to be killed. Hope has been saved, and she asked you to give hope to millions of dogs suffering in puppy mills. The reason that I printed this out was because most people, when they do buy dogs, they go to a puppy store or never a local shelter, rarely a breeder because they spend an extra $200 more if they go to a breeder. But there's another picture on the front, and it says, the new puppy from a pet store is $1,000. The first year's vet bills for a sick dog is $3,000. The new slippers to replace the old ones, $10. Refusing to buy a puppy in a pet store because it contributes to the abuse of animals imprisoned and tortured in puppy mills, priceless. Okay. So today I'm going to talk to you about the way the animals live, how they have poor medical attention, they have no attention from any human being whatsoever, the laws against puppy mills, and that's it. But the mother and father dogs, which are the dogs who permanently live at the puppy mills for their whole life, are forced to live cooped up in a cage with multiple dogs, big, small, doesn't matter, dirty, doesn't matter. The cage is about this big and the dogs could be about this big. There is chicken wire cages and they're all stacked on top of one another, either outside or inside. Outside where they're exposed to the element, too much sun, dry heat, snow, rain, what have you. Inside they see no sun, nothing. They often defecate or urinate in their environment, and then they are forced to eat and sleep in the same place where they just defecated and urinated. According to Benzer and Townsend, a habit called coprophagia, which is eating of their own excrement, occurs. One, because they're hungry, they're actually starving, or because they want to clean the environment that they're living in. According to the ASPCA, bigger dominant dogs prohibit submissive dogs from eating, again resulting in eating of their own feces. Now that I talked to you about how the older dog lives, I'm going to talk to you about how they use the older dogs for breeding. Once a mom births pups, they are taken away at 8 weeks. According to the ASPCA, once female dogs can no longer reproduce, they are killed inhumanely. According to the ASPCA, puppies that can't be sold, even at the lowest price, are shot, drowned, or starved to death. Now I'm going to talk to you about the health and psychological issues in the puppies and the adults. Puppies suffer from issues and injuries, fleas, ticks, parasites, respiratory disorders, what have you, bacteria infections. It's nothing compared to what the older puppies have, because the puppies, they're born in 6 weeks, they go to a puppy store. The older dogs have to live there for their whole entire life. They have psychological disorders. They're shipped in cages, they live in cages, and then they go to a pet store in another cage. They've missed a critical part of their development by being taken from their mothers early. They're never able to play, they're never able to run, they're never able to run. The parents, according to the ASPCA, have numerous health issues. Dental disease, which causes their teeth and jaw to rot away, matting at their hair, missing limbs, and hearing loss due to blood-sucking mites. If you do look at most of these pictures, you'll see most of them have like missing parts of their faces and eyes, and it's disgusting. But the parents' psychological orders, according to Bender and Townsend, are they're under-socialized, untrusting, they freeze when touched, as if they are accepting their fate. They don't know what a leash is. Most of the time when you get a dog from a dog store, you will notice that they sit on their hind limbs and they spin in circles. The reason that they do this is because they're used to being in a cage that is too small for them to move. According to Bender and Townsend, debarking is accomplished by shoving a metal pipe down their throat, causing them unable to bark. Now I will talk about the laws against puppy mills. The APHIS administers the Welfare Act. It's supposed to provide basic care, and you're supposed to have a Class A license and a Class B license. If you sell to online companies, you do not need a license, creating a loophole for the puppy mills. Now, you might say, why doesn't the APHIS do more about this if there are laws? The APHIS is extremely understaffed, only 120 inspectors, thousands of licensed breeders, dealers, and zoos, circuses to inspect. Now that I've talked to you about the health, psychological, their living environment, the little attention they get, and basically, how could you not feel bad for them? Look at the picture that Jayon is looking at. How could you look at him and not feel bad? So whenever you do decide that you want to buy a dog or your child wants a dog, just remember to adopt, don't shop. If you don't want to adopt, go to a breeder. It's worth it in the end. And if you do adopt and don't go to a pet store, you will close puppy mills eventually to shut down. So you might think, well, what can I do? This is stupid. You don't have to donate money. You don't have to donate your time. You don't have to volunteer. All you have to do is don't shop at dog stores. Even if you're not buying a dog, don't go to like Monster Pets and buy dog food or treats. Anything. PetSmart you can shop at because they adopt animals. But I'm going to leave off with a poem that I found on the PETA.org. It's lonely here in prison. I dream of sun and fields. I saw them from a window once, but I don't know how they feel. I've never known a caress, a friend, a bone or toy, a human companion, a girl or boy. Someone had decided, with selfishness and greed, that my fate shall be a cage, and for my keep I'll breed. My kind may bark in vain, we care not for your business, and few know our pain. We're hidden from justice, for our freedom some may cry. God grant me please one request, let me play once before I die. That's it.
Okay, thank you.